this lesson, we're going to be adding a second cone onto our foundation work that we've been doing with the one cone. And we're also going to talk about how to reward your dog for distance. So I do a lot of food. I use very minimal toys. It's just a preference of mine. If my dog did not really like food but really liked toys, then I would use more toys than I would food. But all my dogs are very food motivated, so I usually stick with food. The one exception I have is this treat ball. You can get it from cleanrun.com. It's got Velcro in the middle, and you can just unvelcro it just like that. And you can stick a treat right in the middle there and Velcro it together. So I like to use this, especially with Allie. She really, really loves her treat ball. And I like to use this to help drive them out away from me. When we talk a little bit about vertical distance versus lateral distance, you'll see me use this quite a bit. So it helps drive them out away from me. I can also use it to place as a target for them to go to. But the one thing is, don't become reliant on this. If you're always having to pack around your treat ball so you can throw it or so you can target and do that sort of stuff, then you're always going to be packing around a treat ball. So make sure that you vary things a little bit. I'll come out work with my dogs, and sometimes I'll have a target played out that they will touch. Sometimes I'll have a target played out that they eat from. Sometimes I use a treat ball. Sometimes they get food from my hand, and sometimes they just get pets and loves from me. I like to vary what they get so that one, they don't get bored, or two, they don't always expect the same thing. So I'm going to show you real quick how I use this to reward her for doing some distance work with these cones. Come here, alligator. Good girl. So if I'm going to toss it, wait. Let's say I'm going to toss it out that way. It's going to go out of camera view. But let's say I want to toss it out that way to reward her continuing on. This is what it's going to look like. And what she's going to do, I'll show you right here if I put it down. She's going to dive her nose in there and open it. So let me show you. And she just kind of rips it open and gets her treat. Good girl. Got it. And then I just put a new one in. At first I close it pretty lightly, so that they can really get in there. But she's used to it, so I close it pretty hard so the treat don't come flying out. Sit. Wait. Yeah. Good. And she's out of camera view, but she's going to rip it open and get her treat out of it. And she never brings it back to me. She's not a toy dog. She likes her food. So she never ever brings it back. Okay, so that's kind of how I use this to reward my dogs. If I choose to use a treat ball, that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to toss it, or I can place it out there on the ground or anything like that. For this exercise, I'm going to go ahead and feed her out of my hands. I'm going to put this away. Okay, so now we have two cones, and I usually set them out just like this. And what I'm going to do is a figure 8 pattern. Okay, so I'm going to show you real quick kind of what it looks like. Now your dogs should already be doing their out around a single cone, so we should already be having our dogs be able to go out and reward. Okay, or we can say out and reward. So our dogs already understand how to go out around that cone. So now we're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to add a second cone. So I want you as a handler to stand to one side of these cones. For this exercise, Aunt Allie's going to be on my left side. Off. Wait. And I'm going to send her out. Pick her up. Out. Good. So we do that one more time. Out. Out. Yes. And we're just doing a nice little figure 8. So let me go ahead and we'll continue the pattern a couple times. Out. 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 Yeah. One thing I want you to really notice is I'm using same arm, same leg. So when I'm sending her out around that cone, wait, this arm and this leg move together for out. Okay? So then when I go to pick her up off this cone, sit, wait, out, out. You see how my arm and my leg are both together, and we're pushing her. We're giving her that cue that I want her to move away from me. So from here, what I want you guys to do is you're going to start kind of moving back. Obviously, work both sides. You'll work her off your right hip, work them off your left hip, work on this side of the cones, work on the other side of the cones. We have a really nice pattern going. Don't sit and drill on this figure 8 for long periods of time. Keep the sessions very short because it can become very monotonous very fast. So make sure and keep your lessons nice and short. Even if you come out, say, 3 times a day and you're just doing maybe 3 figure-8 patterns, that's probably more than enough. What you want to start working on is you're going to start backing up. So if I come back here now I'm about 5 feet off of these cones. Sit. I'll put her on my left hip again. Remember, same arm, same leg. Out. Uh-oh. So just like that. She didn't quite go far enough. So let's try it again, and maybe I backed out a little bit too much. You know, maybe I started to pull my leg back before she fully committed to going around that cone. Let's try it again. Nope. Sit. Wait. Out. Out. So you see how I'm getting a little bit, I can feel myself when I'm pushing. I'm kind of pushing her before she's committed. I'm already doing this. Make sure, commit to that cone, pick her up, and push her back out again. Out. Out. Yeah. So really make sure, as you're pulling your distance further and further away, that you're really pushing, same arm, same leg, to get them around that cone. And we're not just kind of flinging arm and leg and then quitting and going here. Make sure and hold and commit that cue as they're going around the cone. As your dog gets better and better at distance and more confident, then you don't have to hold the cue quite as long. You're able to say, get out, and start getting ready to pick them up. And you don't have to hold it and wait for them to get around the cone. But when you have a younger dog and ones that are just learning distance, you're going to want to hold that cue just a little bit longer. You know? So I'll go ahead and show a couple more patterns for using these 2 cones. In our next lesson, we're going to move up to using more cones and then into a barrel.